At the moment, we live in what we call a linear economy. So we make things, and 90% of the things that we make become waste within 6 months of making them, which is quite a shocking fact. And what we're looking for in a circular economy is to never think of materials as waste. They're always nutrients. They're either technical nutrients or biological nutrients. So either they go back into the ground and become compost. You know, paper could go back into the ground and become compost for another tree, or the material is recovered and is turned back into another object. I think the most important thing that any designer could do is to arrange a visit to a recycling centre or a waste centre of some sort, because I went recently for the first time and it was a massive eye-opener actually talking to the people at the recovery plants and them holding up objects and saying, well, we can't recycle this because, and we can't recover this because. And until you actually go and you see that, you'd have no idea of the impact. And when you go and you see new products less than a year old, on the rubbish dump, you realise what a crazy world we live in. If you don't understand manufacturing processes, then you're limiting yourself as a designer. I think once you start understanding materials and manufacturing processes, innovation is really there for the taking. You can really start to understand and innovate and change things.
The last thing I saw that really inspired me was probably just 1 minute ago before I came here. I sat and had lunch and I watched 100 old people in Spitalfields doing tea dancing, and that was inspiring. I don't try and stay inspired, it just kind of happens naturally. If I'm walking along and I see a building, I don't think what's going on in there or how is that business running. I think what would that building look like if it was walking or talking, and how would it do that? Foolproof technique to kickstart the creative process, I'd say, is be alone. For me, that's what works the best. Be alone in a pub, be alone on a train, be alone going for a walk somewhere. If I ever have creative block, where I literally am stuck for an idea, I will just change my environment and I'll just stop what I'm doing, walk off and go somewhere else, and then maybe try and start thinking of it again. I also think it's okay to actually ask for help sometimes. So maybe you share a studio with someone, or you have friends that you can email or call on to say, look, I'm meant to be solving this problem, what do you think? And you might get just a little spark of inspiration from someone else. So it's kind of cheating, I guess. I've even phoned up clients before and said, look, you know, can you help? They're always happy to do that because they know how dull it is, and they know, you know, some illustration jobs are pretty tricky.
If you look at the stars at night, if you're lucky enough to be able to see the stars, that's basically you're looking at the first forge, the first industrial process where all of our 94 elements that we need to use come from. Everything around you is built from those 94 elements, those building blocks. Even we are built from those building blocks. And the way that we are using them is not allowing them to be recycled. How we are currently designing things is far too linear. As designers, we don't think further than when the object goes into the warehouse ready to be sold in a shop. You know, 80% of the environmental impact of a product is predetermined at design stage, and at the moment that's quite a negative 80%. So if you could turn that around and have very influenced and educated designers who really understand the process of the cycle of the materials, then that 80% could actually become a really positive thing, and say actually, because it's designed like that, it can be disassembled, it can be repaired, it can be remanufactured, and it can be completely recovered. Two things that I would suggest that designers do. The first thing is educate. The second one is network. Not just network within design, but network out of design into technology, into chemistry, into material science. It's a great opportunity almost to say, well, okay, if it's not working now, let's start again, you know, the blank sheet of paper. What you need to do is to put that in front of people and get the right people around the table, so it's not just designers talking to designers, it's actually people who are involved in the whole loop of the product.
I think for me, the most important thing is not to overthink it and just get started and put pen to paper or mouse to computer, whatever, and just make a dent, make a mark, You know, don't be intimidated by